Yes, we know Niger leads a couple of seats. Famabago has been doing a great work. But is it going to be only about Niger? Where are the comparative advantages we should have in the crops? In the 60s, Nigeria is at some point, the internet we're talking about, Tim Berners-Lee was working in CERN in Switzerland, European Government Research Nuclear Agency. All right? The GPS system, a lot of NASA technology. So most of these big technologies you're seeing, there's also a government research component in grants and other things to this research. And for those things to work, your university ecosystem must work. You can't afford to owe ASUU. You can't afford to make the universities underfunded. You can't afford not to invest in research and development. So if you want to grow, it ties around the university ecosystem. That also even feeds into the food ecosystem you want to grow, because you need to develop new agricultural practices. You need to develop new agricultural technologies. And how do you do it? It ties back into the university ecosystem. So the two things President Tinubu went to say in Brazil about tech, about food, about ecosystem, it all ties back into the knowledge base of the country. And that's why education is the heart of it all. This cannot develop without education. And that's why, Minister Alausa, we trust you to fix that problem with ASUU as soon as possible, so that we start moving on the education ladder, so that we can get those developmental goals we want right on track.
Great. All right. Dr. Abati, your take on this story.
Quite a list. But let me start with ASUU. Now, ASUU served notice and protests occurred in federal university campuses across the nation. And what is ASUU saying? What is the bone of contention? ASUU is saying that the federal government is now offering what they call the tertiary support fund for teachers at the tertiary level. And ASUU is saying simply that, look, we don't want loans that will further deepen, improve, increase our liabilities in terms of, obligations. What we want is simply for the 2009 agreement agreed between ASUU and the federal government to be implemented in line with the principle of pacta sunt servanda, which simply means that agreements are sacrosanct. So the Tinubu administration has inherited a very difficult situation that has been lingering between ASUU and the federal government for 16 years. It's not that it's the Tinubu administration that created the problem. But this administration, let's first give them credit. Under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, an attempt has been made to address the issues. And this is the point being made by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa. He said, for example, okay, he didn't say that, but let me quickly pull it up. The Tinubu administration, after the 2022 protest that lasted 8 months, paid 4 months of the arrears. The governors, the lecturers are saying, we want the remaining 3.5 months. 2, now to what Minister Alausa said. He says that end allowances have been paid by the Tinubu administration, that postgraduate supervision allowances have been paid, and that there is room for further negotiation, and that the government is willing to return to the 2009 agreement. And I think the subsisting Yayale Ahmed committee that is looking into these matters between, the Association of Universities, Staff Union of Universities and the federal government. So now today, they're going to meet, the various stakeholders will be there, and I think that in itself is a good development. But the major takeaway from the federal government of Nigeria should be, when you reach an agreement, whether it's about wage negotiation or conditions of service, you respect those agreements. The Nigerian government has a notorious reputation for not respecting agreements, whether in collective bargaining issues or contractual matters. And as we say, don't give us loan, tertiary support fund. No, respect the existing agreement. And I hope that the meeting today will be fruitful, as we expect. Now, but there's also the matter of ASUU, the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics. ASUU